Alright, gents and ladies, we are on, I'm a little off-center, aren't I? Is that better? You see me now? Okay. We're going to move on to chapter 16 of Genesis. Chapter 15 was about God giving some land to Abram and then saying, "Psych, this is for your kids." So we're picking up where we left off. Now, and this is a short one too, this is only 16 verses, so not very long at all. Now, Sarai, Abram's wife, I'm definitely pronouncing that wrong. Now, Sarai, Abram's wife, bare him no children, and she had an handmaid, an Egyptian, whose name was Hagar, like Hagar the Horrible. So it was not a very good handmaid. And Sarai said unto Abram, "Behold, now the Lord hath restrained me from bearing." So, do you see that? Some weird light thing just happened. So I would have been able to have kids, but God tied some stuff up in there, so that's not happening. "I pray thee, go in unto thy maid, my maid." So she's basically saying, you have my permission. Fifi over here can get the job done, so have at it. "It may be that I may obtain children by her." Maybe. And Abram hearkened to the voice of Sarai. He says, "Okay, honey, if that's what you really want." "And Sarai, Abram's wife, took Hagar, her maid, the Egyptian, after Abram had dwelt 10 years in the land of Canaan." My computer's making some noise. Oh, it's this website. I'm going to turn that off. Alright, so let's understand this. Abram had dwelt 10 years in the land of Canaan and gave her to her husband Abram to be his wife. So she took her maid and said, see, now why doesn't he just screw her? Why does he need to be, I guess they need to be married, different times, different social norms. "And he went in unto Hagar," screwed her, "and she conceived, and she saw that she had conceived. Her mistress was despised in her eyes." When she saw that she had this baby, she despised her mistress. Well, you're the one who did it, honey. I don't know what she's got to do with it. Did you not know you could get pregnant doing that? Maids were uneducated back then. "And Sarai said unto Abram, My wrong be upon thee." So I screwed up, but it's your fault. Typical. "I have given my maid into thy bosom, and when she saw that she had conceived, I was despised in her eyes. The Lord judge between me and thee." Huh? So she's basically repeating, when she realized she was going to have a baby, she hated me, and the Lord will have a judging contest between the two of us to see who is wrong in this situation. "But Abram said unto Sarai, Behold, thy maid is in thy hand." Okay, it's a very tiny maid, and she's in her hand. "Do to her as it pleaseth thee." So you can crush her or toss her out the window or whatever. "And when Sarai dealt hardly with her, she fled from her face." So she must have gotten out of her hand and scrambled her across her face. I don't know what they're talking about. "And the angel of the Lord found her by a fountain of water in the wilderness, by the fountain in the way to Shur." So she went missing, probably looking for the tiny maid, and the Lord went looking for her and found her by this fountain in the woods. "And he said, Hagar, Sarah's maid, whence camest thou?" So how long did it take you to come when you bore the child? And "Whither wilt thou go?" And she said, "I flee from the face of my mistress Sarai." So it was Hagar that he found there by the fountain, and he says, where are you going? And she's basically just saying, well, I can't stand my mistress who let me have sex with her husband, so I'm out of here. "And the angel of the Lord said unto her, Return to thy mistress, and submit thyself under her hands." So, you're just a maid. It's not for you to say, get back there and scrub some floors. "And the angel of the Lord said unto her," oh, this isn't the Lord, this is the angel of the Lord, I missed that. It's just an angel, the Lord's too busy. "And the angel of the Lord said unto her, I will multiply thy seed exceedingly." Okay, so I'm going to make there be lots of babies inside of you, "that it shall not be numbered for multitude." So they're just going to keep coming out. It's just going to be an endless string of kids popping out of your vajayjay. And the angel of the Lord said unto her, Behold, thou art with child. Okay, so that's like their form of a pregnancy test back then. The Lord sent an angel down and let you know, yep, it's pink, you're having a baby. And shalt bear a son, and shalt call his name Ishmael, because the Lord hath heard thy affliction. So Ishmael must be an affliction or something like that. But anyway, so the first kid's going to be Ishmael, and then it'll just be a steady stream of kids after that. And he will be a wild man. Okay, so total bachelor. His hand will be against every man. He's going to slap a lot of guys. And every man's hand against him, obviously going to get slapped back quite a bit. And he shall dwell in the presence of all his brethren. So he will just live all over the place. Probably out of the van. And she called the name of the Lord that spake unto her, Thou, God, seest me. For she said, Have I also here looked after him that seeth me? This sounds like a riddle. She called the name of the Lord that spake unto her, Thou, God, seest me. For she said, it's like, takes some circular reasoning to wrap your mind around that one. And I can't do it. So, good luck to you. Wherefore the well was called Bir Lahai. Behold, it is between... That was again with the light. You saw it this time, right? Am I crazy? Wherefore the well, what well, was called Bir Lahai. Behold, it is between Kadesh and Bered. So there's a well. Oh, that's maybe the fountain in the woods. And Hagar bare Abram a son, and Abram called his son's name, which Hagar bare Ishmael, according to the Lord's instructions. And Abram was 86 years old when Hagar bare Ishmael to Abram. So he was 86. I think that's the math works out. So he's 86, and Hagar, the maid, bears Ishmael. So that's what's happened in this chapter. Any questions? Nope. Okay. All right. Well, then chapter 17 next week. Have a good one.